Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go on.
Well, I think, you know, it's amazing how I meet other musicians, you know, who've had to work hard, and you know, they go out and they do things, you know, and they work for years to try and get the limelight, you know. And there I was one of these lucky people, just like in my early days, you know, I just got given to sing in these operas. And this came along. It was just like bound to be successful. It was just bound to be successful somehow.
Must have been pretty weird for him as well, though.
It was, yeah.
And soon after, of course, Roy Wood left.
Yeah.
I think he played on some of the tracks on the second album, didn't
Yes,
he?
he did, yeah.
And then Wilf came in.
Yeah.
Did that create a bit of an atmosphere in the band when Roy left? Were you on a bit of a downer, or were you excited about the future? Or?
Well, there was this period of time where nobody was sure whether it was going to carry on or not.
Ah.
That's my recollection
right.
of the uncertainty of it. But then it was proposed that we did do that, and we cut down the whole numbers of the band, but we still wanted the cello weight. So we got I found my friend Colin, who was also studying, and he came in on cello, and so we had a 7-piece band then. And we also got some good advice about sound equipment, and the sound, we got really quite professional stuff in, and the sound improved, and that made a big difference. It was really possible then.
Yeah.
And well, later we did get these massive, on American tour, we got these massive, great big sort of amplifier units, but in each the string players had their own setup, so that you'd be blasting out on the stage, and you'd be, you know, you could, you know, they would feed that through to the mix, right. You know, but there were times when Hugh was playing, and he would go and turn up a little bit, and then I'd go and turn up, and then we had this sort of, you know, we were getting louder and louder on the stage. I mean, I'm sure guitarists do that, you know, but you know, it was funny for cellists to do that.
Yeah. So ELO 2 was like your first album really that you recorded on.
Yeah.
Yeah. A nice long version of Roll Over Beethoven, and you members of that. Were you allowed to put like your own input into certain tracks?
Well, I think that the success of that track was because Wilf Gibson did a really fabulous arrangement, and he just used parts of Beethoven and stuff, but not just the beginning, but he used other bits from it, as you know, the middle eight, and that was great, you know. But I felt that was a striking number, and that sort of launched us, I think, having Roll Over Beethoven.
Would that be your favourite track on that album, do you think?
Yeah, yeah.
From what you can remember,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was Mama Bell on there.
Oh no, that was the next one. We're going to come up to that. So.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
I'm just thinking, you're quite a relaxed, quiet, sort of shy guy, and yet I've got, you know, seen videos of you.
Yeah.
Doing some crazy things on stage, on top of pops and that.
Yes.
With funny hats and.
Yeah.
Didn't you used to play your cello with half a grapefruit or an orange, was it? And then somebody would set off and explode. Did the cello used to blow up?
Well, I don't know. It was. It's part of the whole thing, you know. When you're. I think when we had to do something presentation-wise, we had to kind of like involve. We couldn't just sit there and play. And as I was telling you earlier, Jeff Lynne and well, Rick Tandy wasn't very expressive on stage. He was a great keyboard player, and Jeff Lynne was had his sunglasses on. He sort of hid behind his sunglasses, and well, Roy Wood was a bit of a shy guy. He could wear the glitter and do that. But we needed. We felt like we weren't. The band wasn't going anywhere because we weren't entertaining. So the string players sort of got together one day and just sort of had a chat amongst ourselves and decided that we would do something to entertain a bit more. So I mean we Wilf got his cape. He came with his cape, and I came with my hats. And I sort of had a succession of hats then. I think that was So I don't mind being a little bit bored on top, but I don't know whether I was trying to cover that up, but it was partly and it changed. But I think that the whole thing was that we wanted to entertain. We didn't want to just sit there, So as things transpired, so I found myself doing more and more things. There was, and if I did one thing one time in a performance, it's inspirationally. The other people in the band who didn't do very much, they came up to me and said, "Mike, that was great. You must do that every night." So I kind of like a bit like trapped in a way because I was doing things, but they wanted me to repeat things, and then somebody had this idea that we should have an exploding cello, and that it wasn't my idea at all. I didn't really fancy it, but they had this thing built, which was an exploding cello, and it didn't actually play. And we had this thing where Hugh would be playing this piece, and I would be miming to it on this sort of exploding cello, and then I'd have a button to press on the floor, put my foot on this button, and the whole thing would spark and then just fall apart, and then you'd put it back together for the next day, and they'd spent all this money on this, and I had to do it, but it was just a bit of fun, really. But I did find myself I suppose being shy. Somewhere it was like you go on stage and sometimes you feel that that's a release when you bring out another side of yourself. So there was the other thing sometimes when we did Great Balls of Fire, there was this massive speaker or something that was part of the stage equipment, and I used to climb up on top of that, and then we do Great Balls of Fire, and then you come to this stop, and then I jump off with my cello, maybe 6 feet with my cello, this cello that I've just been playing to you, and but that was part of the show as well.
Wow. Pretty tiring show then, really.
And then we'd run around and we'd play each other's instruments, and then sometimes I'd play Jeff's guitar.
Yeah, didn't you come up between his legs?
I did, I don't much like that, but yes, but it was all part of the fun, really.